The dollar is coming off the hinges. Let me repeat. The dollar is coming off the hinges. One great or two great indicators is one, the gold. The ounce of gold right now is over $2,200. Actually, it was $2,300 when I made the video, but it's came down a couple of dollars. Okay. The other thing I want you to look at is the price of cocoa or the price of commodities. The commodities are not being manipulated by paper, I should say, because for a while, gold was being manipulated by the paper. What I mean by paper is the future exchange. They're able to manipulate the price of commodities. But this is why Russia is trying to create a commodity that's not backed by futures, because, with paper, they can, make things make believe that has nothing to do with the actual raw material. So the dollar is coming off the hinges. That's why we're seeing major inflation. That's why we're seeing people all around the world buying into gold. Okay. At the same time, we're seeing a lot of commodities that you have never even thought about go up in prices, rocketing. Okay. This is all because the homeostasis of the economy. Just like our body, we like to be right in the middle. If we're off just a couple of degrees, we have chaos. But in their economy, it's the same exact way. Because Big Brother printed out so much money, handed all of us free money, told us to stay home, so much debt, they have caused the homeostasis of the economy to go AWACS. That's why you're seeing tremendous fluctuations from left to right, okay? Because the system is about to break. Kind of imagine when you have one of those old gauges, let's say like when you're pumping your tire in an air pump, one of those hand gauges. Well, the gauge should go up slowly from the left to the right. But if you ever see the gauge bouncing from the left to the right violently, that means something is wrong with your pump. And this is exactly what's happening with your economy. The gauge of prices for economy are just going ballistically from the left all the way to the right, which means low and right, just back and forth. This is a symbolism that the economy is about to break, okay? We're actually in the breaking process. Hence why we have wars. As I stated to you guys back in 2016, that the dollar is going to collapse. And we're going to have wars. I didn't think we're going to be having World War III. I just thought that we're going to get into more wars, fucking up third world countries, poorer countries. I didn't think we were going to go head to head with one of the largest nuclear power in the world, Russia, okay? But war it is, and we're at war. So the future does not look very pretty for America. I hope they allow the economy to collapse, because if they allow the economy to collapse, then we don't have to go to war where millions and billions of people are going to die all over the world. Because the American economy is collapsing, America is making the whole world go to war to reset the dollar for a new, who knows what, probably Fed coin, okay? But I would prefer for the economy to collapse. I prefer the biggest banks to collapse. I prefer for the housing industry to collapse. I prefer for the stocks markets to drop down 60, 70, 80%. I don't want wars, okay? I don't want to go to war because to band-aid up the economy. I don't want to go to war to cover up the debt that we have, all the endless wars that we have funded, all the missiles we give to Ukraine and Israel, okay? No, I want us to pay the price. It's time to pay the reaper. We messed up. We over-borrowed. We went to so many wars. It's time to pay the reaper. Let's not take the whole world, okay? Because there are people in America that are ready to buy real estate when it drops 80%, 70%, 60%, okay? There are people on the sidelines that are ready to buy the stock market when it drops 80%. So screw all the people that fucked up, right? I'm sorry, but screw them. From the corporations, from the big corporations, all the way down to the little people. If you didn't save your money, if you were in debt, if you overspend, it's time to pay the reaper. There's no reason for us to go to war. It's time for you to lose your house. It's time for you to go bankrupt so other people can come up. Because trust me, there are people on the sidelines waiting for the opportunity to make their moves. Because we all know riches are made in the Greatest Depression. And we are in the Greatest Depression in America but they're holding it back. They're trying to do everything they can to say it's not happening, from fudging the numbers, from the reporting on the legacy media, from wars, from distractions, you name it. Everything they can. But the truth is, if the economy doesn't collapse, we as humans are gonna collapse. Okay? I prefer the US economy to collapse. We're the ones that dig us in this hole. It's time to pay the reaper. No one put us here. China didn't put us here. Russia didn't put us here. Iran didn't put us here. Korea didn't put us here. We put ourselves here. We decided to take profits over anything. Our corporations decided to go to China because they wanted profits over helping their own citizens. Okay? That's our fault, all right? Not the Chinese. So now it's time to pay the reaper. Let's be man about it. We fucked up, and it's time to pay the reaper. The economy must collapse. If it doesn't, we're as human beings are gonna collapse. So if the choice was for me, if I was king for a day, I will allow the economy to collapse because there's enough smart people in America, entrepreneurs that are going to take advantage of the situation and make a comeback, right? Just like what we did in America after the World War I. All right? So the situation is, if the economy doesn't collapse, we're going to collapse as a civilization because we're not fighting some third world country anymore. We already kicked the butt out of all these third world countries, all right? From Latin America to Asia to Middle East. Now the only ones that are left is the guys with the big balls, right? And they're stoic guys. They're not just going to just jump any moment. And that's the thing that's the problem, because they're not reactive individuals, the Russians, okay? And this is where we are. If we don't have an economic collapse, we're going to have a world collapse. And I prefer America to go down economically, Germany to go down economically, UK to go down economically, France to go down economically, because they put themselves in this situation, right? So the whole world doesn't have to pay. Your kids don't have to go die. Your cousins don't have to go die. Your daddy and mommy doesn't have to go to the war, okay? So the truth is, we're going to have devastation because of World War III, or we're going to have an economic devastation. Which one do you prefer? Leave a comment below. Peace.